Welcome to the Ubuntu desktop tutorial. So in this course, we will learn how to use the Ubuntu desktop operating system, one of the most widely used Linux operating systems in the world. And just so that we're all on the same page here, I'll just say that Linux is an open source operating system. So that means you can use it without paying any license fees. Now, the situation changes if you want professional support. The Linux operating system was initially used only by people who worked on the command line and therefore had advanced computer knowledge. But then later on, especially with the development of the internet, it became an operating system supported by the whole world and developed as open source. And that leaves us up to today, where there are many Linux operating systems out there. Linux operating systems can be very stable. And today, many servers actually run on Linux operating systems. So how to install specifically Ubuntu desktop is what we're going to focus on in this course. Basic features of Ubuntu desktop operating system and how we can change default settings. Also learn how to change the view settings according to whatever your own preferences are. We're going to use VirtualBox as our virtualization program for our installations. So we will install Ubuntu in the virtualization program. Now, virtualization and installation on physical hardware consist of exactly the same steps. So if you want to, you can install Ubuntu on a physical computer with what you learn in this course. The visualization software will use the resources of the host computer. So, for that reason, we recommend that the host computer where you're going to install the virtual computer should have at least the following features. And these include a 4-core CPU, 8 gigs of RAM, but I really would recommend 16, 250 gigs of free hard disk space, and at least a gigabyte video card. Okay, so let's get started. Open up your favorite web browser and just type in VirtualBox into your favorite search engine. And you can find the downloads here in the results. So let's have a look at this page. There are some installation packages that are prepared for different operating systems of VirtualBox. Now, of course, you're seeing that we're going to be doing this course in Windows. So I'll be downloading the setup file for Windows. And then I can just click the Say File button on the screen that appears, and the installation package is downloading. Now, the file is kind of large, so the download's going to take some time, depending on your speed of internet. And then when the installation file is downloaded, you'll see a file named VirtualBox 6.1.12-139-181-win.exe in the Downloads folder. All right, so now we can get started setting it up. Let's go ahead and open up the browser and just type Ubuntu into the search engine of your choice. And of course, the top result is from the Ubuntu official website. So here we can just click download. And the screen will present to us the current Ubuntu Linux distributions. So Ubuntu Desktop is right here, so you can click on that. And here you can have a look at the different versions of the Ubuntu Desktop Linux distribution. What we're going to do here is download Ubuntu 20.04.1 LTS. So it's right here at the top. And click on Download and click on Save. And an ISO image file is downloaded onto your computer. Now the file size is pretty large, so you've probably got to wait a moment or at least two. Of course, it depends upon the speed of your internet connection. Just remember that the folder that it downloads into is where you have specified in your current web browser where downloads will be saved. And here you can see that it is completed successfully. All right, so now we can get started setting it up. So just double click on that VirtualBox file. Click the next button. Now this screen will list the applications that need to be installed with VirtualBox, as well as the place where VirtualBox will be installed. So if you want to, you can always change that by clicking the Browse button on the side here. I'm just going to use the default install location, which is on the C drive in Program Files, Oracle, VirtualBox for installation. Click Next. All right, so this screen has different VirtualBox shortcuts as well as file registration. Just click Next. Network Interfaces installation for VirtualBox. Click on Yes. And now click on the Install button. All right, so now the necessary files are being installed on the host computer. Now on this screen, it requests confirmation for the virtual serial port setup for VirtualBox. Just click the Install button, and then you can finish up the installation by clicking the Finish button. All right, so installation has been successfully completed. We can now get started setting up our virtual computers. All right, so go ahead and open VirtualBox. Click the New button. Write Ubuntu in the Name section. Machine folder type and version will not change, so just click Next. Memory size set to 2048 megabytes. So now we're going to create a virtual hard disk. And just click Create. And click on Next. So click on Fixed Size on this screen. And click Next. All right, so now the disk size is set to 20 gigabytes, and click Create. So the creating the disk process may take a little bit of time. And now we can move on to the next stage, the installation stage. Now by clicking the Start button, we can start up our virtual computer. So since the operating system is not installed, the first time you run it, VirtualBox will ask us what we want to use as an installation disk. So over here on the right is the folder icon. Click on that. And the optical disk selector window opens, and click the Add button. And on the screen that pops up now, see the Ubuntu file that we downloaded earlier, and well, find it if it's not showing up, and click on that. Click on Open, and now we can return to the optical disk selector window, and click on Choose, and now we can get back to the main screen and click on Start. Great, so here our virtual machine opens and the Ubuntu setup screen appears. At first, Ubuntu automatically scans the disk to be installed and checks to see whether it's suitable for installation or not. So here we can click Install Ubuntu, and the keyboard selection is either confirmed or changed. And click Continue. And continue again. And here you erase disk and install Ubuntu So click and click Install Now. Continue. Select your time zone and click on Continue. And it is called a computer. And we'll put in the password, set to password with a 0. And click on Continue. And that starts the installation files uploading. So, of course, it might take a little bit. Now click on Restart and click Enter to restart the computer. So once the computer finishes restarting, you just enter your username and password, and that completes the successful installation. So now Ubuntu asks us to adjust some settings the first time it boots. And I'll leave these up to you. Also, if you want to, you can skip these settings just by clicking the Skip button in the upper right-hand corner. Now, if there is an online account that you used on the first screen, it will ask you to enter its settings. Live patch settings are made here. Live patch is a service that allows updating without restarting the system. Now on this screen, it will ask if we want to send errors that you receive to Ubuntu Canonical. And if we want to share our location information, we can do that. On the next screen, it checks to see if there's a new update. And it is your choice. You can either do updates immediately or save it for later. But now you're looking at the Ubuntu home screen.